Welcome everyone to this fascinating journey into one of the greatest mysteries of human history. Ancient technology ahead of this time. When most people think about ancient civilizations, they imagine primitive tools, simple lifestyles, and societies struggling for survival. But what if that assumption is completely wrong? What if some ancient civilizations possessed engineering knowledge, scientific understanding, and observational intelligence so advanced that modern experts are still trying to fully understand how they achieved certain things. Today, I'm going to explore ancient wonders that continue to challenge modern logic, structures that should not exist according to conventional assumptions, technologies that appeared centuries, sometimes thousands of years before humanity was supposedly capable of creating them, ancient discoveries that force us to rethink intelligence, innovation, and the true capabilities of early civilization. So, this video is not about fantasy, it is not about blindly accepting conspiracy theories. Instead, it is about curiosity, historical evidence, engineering marvels, scientific analysis, and the incredible potential of human intelligence throughout history. Because perhaps the greatest mistake modern society makes is assuming that ancient people were less intelligent simply because they lacked modern machines. They may not have had computers, but they had observation, patience, discipline, mathematics, astronomy, architecture, and above all, extraordinary determination. Before we explore these mysteries, we first need to understand what ancient technology truly means. Technology is not only smartphones, satellites, or artificial intelligence. Technology is any practical application of knowledge used to solve the problems. Ancient civilizations developed technologies to survive harsh climates, transport massive stones, build cities, track celestial movements, improve medicines, store water, and organize societies. Many ancient people studied nature carefully. They observed the stars for generations. They understood seasonal patterns, water flow, stone durability, metal behavior, and geometry. Their technologies were deeply connected with observation and long term thinking. Unlike modern civilization, ancient societies often build structures meant to last for centuries or even millennia. Today, many buildings struggle to survive a few decades without major repairs, yet ancient monuments continue standing after earthquakes, floods, wars, and climatic changes. This raises an important question. Did modern society underestimate ancient intelligence? Ancient technology reminds us that human brilliance did not suddenly appear in the modern age. Intelligence has existed throughout human history. The tools changed, but the human mind remained powerful. Why do millions of people around the world became fascinated by ancient technology? Because mystery creates emotional engagement. Humans naturally become curious when something challenges their assumptions. When we see giant pyramids built thousands of years ago with astonishing precision, our minds immediately begin asking questions. How was this possible? Who designed this? What knowledge did they possess? Could we recreate it today without modern machinery? Ancient technology combines several powerful forms of storytelling: science, engineering, history, mystery, controversy, philosophy, and imagination. This combination creates enormous audience attraction because it stimulates both logic and emotion simultaneously. People love discovering hidden truths, they enjoy questioning historical assumptions, they become emotionally connected to the idea that humanity may have once possessed forgotten knowledge. At the same time, these topics must be handled responsibly. Curiosity is healthy, but evidence matters. The goal is not to spread misinformation, but to explore historical achievements with balanced thinking. And perhaps the most inspiring aspect is ancient technology reminds us how extraordinary human beings can become when patience, observation, and collective effort works together. One of the greatest mysteries in the human history is the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. Built approximately 4,500 years ago, this structure continues to shock engineers, historians, architects, and scientists even today. The pyramid contains millions of limestone blocks, many weighing several tons each. Yet these stones were assembled with astonishing precision. The alignment of the pyramid with the cardinal directions is remarkably accurate. Some experts believe the precision rivals modern engineering capabilities. Even the internal chambers and ventilation systems demonstrate sophisticated planning. The biggest controversy surrounding the pyramids is simple: how were these enormous stones transported and positioned without cranes, modern vehicles, or advanced machinery? Over the years, many theories emerged: ramps, manpower systems, sled transportation, water lubrication methods, advanced engineering techniques. Some extreme conspiracy theories even suggest alien involvement. However, there is no scientific evidence supporting such claims. What the pyramids truly demonstrate is not extraterrestrial intelligence, but human determination, organization, mathematics, and engineering genius. The pyramids remind us that ancient people were not primitive. They were highly capable problem solvers operating under entirely different technological conditions. The more scientists study ancient Egyptian structures, the more astonishing details they discover. The internal chambers inside the pyramids reveal careful planning and engineering sophistication. The stone cutting precision remains incredibly impressive even today. Some joints between the stones are so tight that inserting a blade between them becomes difficult. Ancient Egyptians also demonstrated remarkable understanding of astronomy. Certain structures appear aligned with celestial events and star positions. This suggests long-term observation of the night sky across generations. What makes this truly fascinating is that ancient engineers achieved these results without computers, laser measurement tools, or digital mapping systems. Their precision emerged through patience, mathematical understanding, and practical experimentation. This teaches us an important lesson: technology alone does not create greatness. human focus, discipline, and vision matter just as much. Modern civilization often moves fast. Ancient civilizations often moved carefully, and sometimes careful thinking produces results that survive thousands of years. Modern scientists continue studying one ancient material that seems almost unbelievable: Roman concrete. Many Roman harbors, roads, adequate aqueducts, and structures still survive after nearly 2000 years. Incredibly, some Roman concrete structures exposed to seawater became stronger over time instead of weaker. This shocked researchers because modern concrete often deteriorates much faster. Scientists discovered that Roman builders used volcanic ash and specific mineral mixtures that created unique chemical reactions when exposed to the seawater. These reactions slowly strengthened the concrete over centuries. This discovery created a major discussion. Did ancient builders understand material science more deeply than we assume? The answer is fascinating. Ancient Romans may not have understood chemistry in modern scientific language, but through observation and experimentation, they developed remarkably durable construction methods. This shows that innovation does not always require advanced machines. Sometimes it requires long term observation and practical wisdom passed through generations. One of the most shocking discoveries in ancient technological history is the Antikythera mechanism discovered in a shipwreck near Greece. This ancient device stunned historians because it appeared far too advanced for its time. Researchers eventually realized it functioned similarly to a mechanical analog computer. The device could track astronomical movements, predict eclipses, and calculate planetary positions using a complex system of gears. What shocked the scientists most was this technology of comparable mechanical sophistication did not appear again for more than 1,000 years. This discovery forced historians to reconsider assumptions about ancient Greek scientific knowledge. It revealed that ancient civilizations possessed far more advanced mechanical understanding than previously believed. The Antikythera mechanism reminds humanity that history is incomplete. Many discoveries may have been lost through wars, disasters, and time itself, and perhaps countless inventions disappeared before they could influence future generations. Ancient India also contributed remarkable technological achievements, especially in the metallurgy. One extraordinary example is the Iron Pillar of Delhi. Despite standing outdoors for over 1600 years, this iron structure shows extraordinary resistance to the corrosion. Modern researchers studied the pillar to understand why it resisted rust so effectively. They discovered advanced forging techniques and unique phosphorus rich iron composition that created protective layers over time. This was an astonishing achievement considering ancient blacksmiths lacked modern industrial laboratories. Ancient Indian metallurgical knowledge demonstrates something very important. Civilizations across the world independently developed highly sophisticated scientific techniques through experimentation and observation. Human intelligence has always existed globally. Innovation was never limited to one region or one era. Long before modern universities existed, ancient learning centers already attracted international students. Nalanda University in ancient India became one of the world's most influential educational institutions. Students traveled from many regions to study mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy, and the science. This reveals something powerful. Ancient civilizations valued knowledge deeply. Libraries preserved enormous amounts of information. Scholars dedicated entire life to learning and teaching. Knowledge was treated as civilization's greatest treasure. Unfortunately, many ancient libraries and universities were eventually destroyed through invasions, wars, and political collapse. Humanity lost enormous amounts of scientific and philosophical wisdom. The destruction of knowledge is one of history's greatest tragedies because when knowledge disappears, civilization often has to rediscover truths from the beginning again. Ancient medical science also achieved remarkable progress. The ancient Indian physician Sushruta became famous for pioneering surgical methods thousands of years ago. Ancient texts describe surgical instruments, anatomy studies, and procedures, including cataract surgery. This surprises many people because modern society often assumes advanced surgery began only recently. Of course, ancient medicine had limitations. Many treatments were incomplete or inaccurate by modern standards. However, ancient physicians demonstrated extraordinary courage and curiosity in trying to understand the human body. Medicine evolved because generations of humans continuously observed, experimented, and improved knowledge. Ancient surgical practices remind us that scientific advancement is a long human journey built across centuries of collective learning. Few ancient artifacts create as much debate as the Baghdad battery. These clay jars containing metal cylinders led some researchers to speculate that ancient civilizations may have experimented with primitive electricity. Could they generate small electrical currents? Were these used for electroplating or religious rituals? The truth remains uncertain. Scientists continue debating the actual purpose of these objects. This is important because responsible historical analysis requires honesty. Not every mystery has a final answer. Sometimes the most intelligent response is we do not fully know yet. Curiosity without arrogance creates real learning. The city built Above the clouds, high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, stands one of humanity's most breathtaking engineering achievements, Machu Picchu. Hidden among clouds and steep mountain terrain, this ancient Incan city continues to amaze engineers, archaeologists, and travelers from around the world. What makes Machu Picchu extraordinary is not only its beauty but its survival. The region experiences earthquakes frequently, yet many of the stone structures remain standing after centuries. How? The Incas mastered a remarkable engineering technique called ashlar masonry. Massive stones were cut and shaped so precisely that they fit together without mortar. During earthquakes, the stones could shift slightly and then settle back into the place without collapsing. This reveals something incredible. Ancient builders understood nature deeply. Instead of fighting natural forces, they designed structures that worked with them. The Incas also created advanced water drainage systems, terraces for agriculture, and carefully planned urban layouts adapted perfectly to the mountainous terrain. What modern society often calls primitive civilization was actually highly intelligent environmental engineering. And perhaps the greatest lesson from Machu Picchu is human brilliance often grows strongest under difficult conditions. Long before telescopes existed, ancient civilizations studied the stars with astonishing accuracy. Ancient Egyptians aligned monuments with celestial bodies. The Maya tracked planetary cycles with incredible mathematical precision. Ancient Indian astronomers calculated eclipses and planetary movements. Greek scholars studied geometry and cosmic patterns. How was this possible without modern technology? The answer is patience. Ancient astronomers observed the skies night after night, generations after generation. They recorded seasonal changes, star movements, lunar cycles, and solar events over centuries. Their observations became essential for agriculture, navigation, religious ceremonies, calendars, and survival itself. One of the most fascinating aspects of ancient astronomy is that many civilizations independently developed highly sophisticated celestial knowledge without communicating with each other. This demonstrates the universal power of human curiosity. The night sky became humanity's first science laboratory. Ancient astronomy teaches us that great discoveries often begin not with the machines but with observation and consistency. Giant designs only visible from the sky. In the deserts of Peru lies one of the history's strangest mysteries, the Nazca lines. These enormous geoglyphs stretch across the desert floor, forming shapes of animals, geometric patterns, and massive straight lines extending for kilometers. The mystery becomes even more fascinating because these designs are best viewed from above. This immediately raises the questions: why create enormous figures that cannot be fully appreciated from the ground level? How were they planned with such accuracy? Over the years, theories ranged from religious rituals to astronomical calendars. Some conspiracy theories even claimed extraterrestrial involvement. but scientists believe ancient people likely created these lines through careful surveying methods, planning, and coordinated labor. The Nazca lines remind us of something important. Human beings have always possessed imagination far beyond simple survival needs. Ancient civilizations also desired beauty, symbolism, spirituality, and connection with something larger than themselves. Not every ancient mystery requires supernatural explanation. Sometimes human creativity itself is extraordinary enough. The technology of survival, the modern civilization depends heavily on water systems, yet ancient civilization, sorry, mastered water engineering thousands of years ago. The Romans built aqueducts transporting water across vast distances using gravity alone. Ancient Indian civilizations developed steep wells capable of storing water through harsh climates. Persian engineers created underground qanat systems transporting water across deserts. These were not simple constructions, they require precise calculations, understanding of terrain, long term planning, and advanced engineering coordination. Ancient water systems reveal one of the greatest strengths of early civilizations. They focused on sustainability. Many ancient societies built infrastructure intended to support generations, not merely short-term convenience. Ironically, modern civilization sometimes struggles with sustainability despite having far more advanced technology. Perhaps ancient wisdom still holds solutions for modern environmental challenges because true intelligence is not only about creating power, it is about creating survival. Engineering in the middle of the desert, Petra, the ancient city carved directly into rock formations in Jordan, remains one of the world's most astonishing architectural achievements. Built in harsh desert conditions, Petra demonstrates extraordinary engineering adaptation. The Nabateans who built the city mastered water conservation systems that allowed civilizations to thrive in one of the world's driest environments. They constructed hidden water channels, reservoirs, dams, and complex storage systems. Without modern drilling equipment or electrical pumps, they created a sustainable urban environment in the desert. This teaches an important truth: necessity drives innovation. Ancient civilizations often developed remarkable technologies because survival demanded creativity. Petra also symbolizes humanity's artistic ambition. The city was not only functional, it was beautiful. Ancient people believed architecture should inspire emotions, identity, and the meaning. And perhaps modern civilization sometimes forgets that technology without beauty can feel empty. Mathematics beyond expectations. The Maya civilization developed one of the most sorry, sophisticated calendar systems in the ancient history. Their astronomical calculations were astonishingly accurate. They tracked solar cycles, lunar movements, eclipses, and planetary patterns with remarkable precision. The Maya understood time in deeply complex ways. Their calendar systems reflected mathematical sophistication that surprised modern historians. However, one major controversy emerged in the modern times, the misunderstanding surrounding the year 2012. Many people falsely believed the Maya predicted the end of the world. In reality, the Maya calendar simply marked the completion of a major cycle, not humanity's destruction. This controversy teaches us something very important. Ancient knowledge must be interpreted carefully and responsibly. Fear and sensationalism often distort historical understanding. The true achievement of the Maya was not predicting apocalypse, it was demonstrating extraordinary mathematical intelligence centuries before modern computing. Exploring oceans without GPS, one of the most underrated ancient technologies was navigation. Polynesian navigators crossed enormous distances across the Pacific Ocean without compasses, satellites, or the GPS systems. How? They studied star positions, wave patterns, bird movements, wind directions, and ocean currents. This required incredible memory, observation, and environmental awareness. Modern people often underestimate the intelligence required to survive without digital systems. Ancient navigators trusted knowledge developed through direct interaction with nature. Their journeys remind us that technology is not only machinery, it is also a human skill. Sometimes the human mind itself becomes the most powerful navigation system ever created. Humanity's greatest tragedy, one painful reality throughout history, is that enormous amounts of knowledge have been lost. Libraries burned, empires collapsed, universities were destroyed, scientific texts disappeared during wars and invasions. The destruction of ancient learning centers may have erased technologies, discoveries, philosophies, and innovations forever. This creates an important realization. Civilization is fragile. Human progress depends not only on creating knowledge, but protecting it. History shows that societies can rise brilliantly and collapse suddenly. Ancient technology reminds us that preserving education, science, and wisdom is one of humanity's most important responsibilities. Because when knowledge disappears, humanity often repeats old mistakes. Biggest mistake we make, one of the most dangerous assumptions modern society makes is believing ancient people were unintelligent. They lacked electricity, they lacked computers, they lacked industrial machinery, but they did not lack the intelligence. Ancient civilizations solved enormous engineering challenges using the tools available to them. They adapted creatively to their environments, they studied nature carefully, they developed systems that survived for centuries. Modern technology creates speed, ancient civilizations often created durability. This does not mean ancient societies were magically superior. Every era has strengths and weaknesses, but history becomes distorted when we underestimate earlier generations simply because they lived differently. Technology changes, human brilliance does not. Balancing curiosity with the evidence. Ancient mysteries naturally attract conspiracy theories. Some people claim aliens, aliens built the pyramids. Others believe ancient civilizations possessed hidden super technologies beyond modern understanding. Curiosity is healthy. Asking questions is important, but evidence matters. Responsible exploration means balancing imagination with science. Not every mystery requires supernatural explanations. In many cases, the true explanation is actually more inspiring. Human beings achieved extraordinary things through intelligence, teamwork, discipline, and persistence. The danger of conspiracy thinking is that it sometimes unintentionally insults ancient civilizations by assuming humans could not possibly achieve greatness independently. Ancient people were capable, creative, brilliant, and determined. Human intelligence itself is already extraordinary enough. Ancient civilizations and the leadership. Ancient technology also teaches powerful leadership lessons. Great civilizations succeeded because they thought long term. Leaders invested in the infrastructure, education, water systems, architecture, astronomy, and knowledge preservation. They understood that true leadership builds for future generations. Modern leadership often focuses on immediate results. Ancient civilizations often focused on legacy. There are several timeless lessons here. Patience creates durability, observation improves decision making, sustainability matters, and collective effort achieves impossible goals. The pyramids were not built by one person. Roman engineering was not created by one genius alone. Civilization advances when people work together around a shared vision. And perhaps modern society needs that lesson more than ever. What ancient technology truly proves at its core, ancient technology tells a deeply positive story about humanity. It proves that humans are adaptable, creativity is timeless, intelligence exists across all generations, and innovation is part of human nature itself. Ancient civilizations survived floods, deserts, wars, mountains, and harsh climates through intelligence and cooperation. This should inspire hope because if ancient humans achieved so much with limited tools, imagine what humanity can achieve today when technology combines with wisdom, ethics, and long term thinking. We are descendants of builders, descendants of observers, descendants of dreamers, and perhaps the greatest future discoveries will come when humanity respects both modern science and ancient wisdom together. Throughout this video, we explored many controversial questions. Did aliens build ancient monuments? Did ancient people discover electricity? Was advanced technology hidden or lost? The honest answer is history still contains mysteries, but most evidence strongly supports human engineering, human intelligence, and human creativity as the driving force behind ancient achievements. Mysteries exist partly because historical records are incomplete. Time destroys evidence, wars erase civilizations, nature reshapes landscapes. The absence of complete answers should inspire further research, not the fear, because curiosity is one of humanity's greatest strengths. Ancient technology is a mirror. Ancient technology is not only about the past, it is also a mirror reflecting humanity's potential. These ancient achievements remind us that civilizations rise through vision, discipline, curiosity, patience, and collective effort. They also remind us how fragile progress can become when knowledge is neglected or destroyed. The future of humanity may depend on learning from both the successes and failures of ancient civilizations. Because intelligence alone is not enough, wisdom matters too, and perhaps the greatest technological advancement humanity can achieve is learning how to combine innovation with the responsibility. Thank you for watching as we end this journey through ancient technology ahead of its time. One truth becomes clear: human history is far more extraordinary than most people realize. Ancient civilizations achieved greatness not because they possessed magic, but because they believed deeply in observation, persistence, learning, and collective purpose. And maybe that same human potential still exist within us today. Thank you for joining this video. If you enjoyed this exploration into forgotten human brilliance, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with others and comment below. Which ancient technology shocked you the most? Was it the pyramids, Roman concrete, ancient astronomy, Machu Picchu, or the Antikythera mechanism? Your curiosity keeps history alive. History becomes powerful when curiosity meets humility. So, as we conclude this journey into ancient technology ahead of its time, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Human beings have always been intelligent. Ancient civilizations may not have possessed modern machines, but they possessed extraordinary observation, patience, creativity, and resilience. They built monuments that continue to inspire humanity thousands of years later. Their achievements remind us that progress is not only about technology, it is about vision, cooperation, curiosity, and the willingness to think beyond limitations. Perhaps the greatest lesson ancient technology teaches us is humility, because history is far more complex than we often assume. And maybe the future of humanity depends on rediscovering the wisdom of the past while responsibly advancing into the future. So, thank you for joining this video journey. If you enjoyed this exploration into forgotten human brilliance, support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. And most importantly, never stop questioning, never stop learning, and never underestimate human potential.